I don't think most women can actually genuinely understand how lonely the majority of men are. And you need to truly understand, if you're Joe Schmo, average in nearly every way, in Starbucks working, you ain't getting a DM ever. You girls will never be lonely. As much as you might be unhappy with the possible suitors, you can at least about and flirt if you feel sad. There are men out here in the world who have genuine loneliness. And I can prove this statistically. Why do you think it's all the men themselves compared to the women?
Put it back, Eric. Do you guys want to give a quick reaction to that clip?
I think that's what he said was valid. Dead ass, because I have 8 brothers. I'm the only girl out of 8 brothers. And
You have 8 brothers?
Yeah.
All like any step brothers or just?
Yeah, so my mom has some and my dad has some.
Okay.
But so maybe that's why I have a respect for men.
Are they all watching, by the way? Are your brothers? Can we shout them out
Shout
in
out
chat?
to my brothers. There's a lot of them. That's a lot of names.
The familia.
Shout out Shadow. But so like my respect for men hits different. Like and I know how lonely they get. And men are, in society, men aren't supposed to cry. Men aren't supposed to cry. They're not supposed to be depressed. They're not supposed to, so they have like this thing where like they have to hold all that shit in. So that's why I feel for a man, it definitely is. That's why the suicide rate is mostly men, for that reason. Women, yes, we get lonely, but like he said, like a man can't show that he is. So for us, we can show it to each other so we can get help. A lot of men have to not be feeling that way, you know? So I believe what that guy said. That shit was facts and valid like a motherfucker.
Did you want to come in on this? I saw you.
Oh, you know what's so funny is that my ex-boyfriend, when I saw him, he told me that he watches Andrew Tate and it helped with his depression. So I feel like that's like, that's a fun fact. I guess it's right. Like I think men, they're not allowed to like show their emotions, and I think like back to the point of feminism, like I would want like the negative societal norms on men to be switched. Like they should be able to express how they feel, and it's like they really can't. So it's sad.
Okay. Ex-boyfriend, like, is that why you guys broke up? He started watching Tate videos?
No, I mean, I'm like pretty chill, so I was like, I don't know. It broke up for a lot of
you guys want to hear a story? I was like talking to this girl, right?
Yeah.
And I told her I told her something about Tate, and she's like, "Oh no," and then she canceled our date because I mentioned something. Yeah, guys, don't. If you like Andrew Tate, don't fucking bring that up to a girl, because like, bruv. Anyways, whatever. Okay, Cheyenne, did you want to?
This is just a random, like, genuine question from like all of the talk right now, but like, it just feels a little off for us to talk about like wanting traditional men and like them to fill those roles and like no painting nails and no dresses and things like that. But then to say like, yes, they should be able to cry, because I think crying is one of those things that is labeled as feminism or like something more feminine that men are traditionally and societally taught not to do because it is for women. And so for us to say like, yeah, that's so sad, like they have nobody and they can't cry and there's such a high suicide rate, that also goes into society's role of not allowing them to embrace those things, and it comes down to the toxicity of it all.
Oh, yeah,
and I do think
society, that's the reason why.
I do think that's absolutely right. Like men don't have as many people there for them, or they're not able to express that in that same way, but it comes down to us breaking down those roles of society, not just what we want and what we don't want. It all plays in together. You
and
can't
then it's
pick and choose.
generational too. I know like my brothers are like that, because in a Mexican household, like you're supposed to be strong, like you're you know, like the guy, he has to be macho, he has to be, you know, so it's actually generationally taught too by a father that you have to be tough, you have to be the bread maker of the house. Like it's also not even society, fuck society, but it's also like a generational curse that's put on them by their fathers as well too. Like he has to grow up to be this man, you know.
And is that, I mean, you have 8 brothers, is that something that you feel was put on your brothers a little bit?
No,
or?
they're not. All my brothers are completely different. Most of my mom's baby daddies, they were like one night hookups, you know, and then like one's dead, one's in prison. You know what I'm saying? Like, so none of my mom was like the main, she was a dad,
The
you know,
matriarchy.
yeah. So she raised them, you know, and so like, then I just know that from like my father, from my uncles, how they were raised by my grandpa and by their fathers, just because they were raised to be like, you have to be like this. So.
Sure. We are behind on super chats here, so I got to get